another episode of The Void. Got separate beats in the background. Hopefully I can get this whole audio thing right. But what is up? What is up? Thank you for tuning in, for those that are tuning in, and thank you for clicking on the link to get to the archives and see this at a later date in the future. To all the future people, good job for making it. And I'm glad that we still have access, I guess, in the future to these episodes. But again, welcome. It's Rock Beats in the background. Let's see if I can try something. Squeeze the beats down. Turn this mic up. Might be able to make this work. Let me know if it's not working. Having some separate beats in the background. I think we can make that work. Anyway, let me know if it's not working. I don't know. I mean, I just do this stuff on the fly. I don't test the audio, the blah blah blah. I rely on feedback. Put a comment. Oh, let me hold on. One of these days, we're gonna be in a real studio with like a production crew. And then what? And then it's not gonna be like all lame and kitschy and whatever, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's the shitty part of it. Yeah, it probably is. Probably why we don't really have a huge following. It's not about, like, to me, it's not about growing a following, like, to monetize or whatever. It's about, because, we talk about some deep shit sometimes on this channel. So the idea is to get more people talking about some deep shit, right? So, tell your friends if you, oh yeah, I forgot, the show's on tonight. Go text them real quick. Say, hey, follow this link to this YouTube thing and check this out and jump in and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about this shit. So tonight, truth be told, what does that mean? I don't know. Let's come up with some stuff. Part of it is about the truth. This idea, we talk a lot about that. The opening, what is it? Like the graphic thing is concerning sort of the fact that truth can be sort of this painful thing, and that you may have an aversion to it, right? But it's something that I think, we have been sort of conditioned to watch out for. Like, we don't want to, we have a lot of illusions, I think, that we walk around life with these sort of ideas and myths in our mind that probably really aren't as truthful, right? Truth be told. Like, it could be relationships, it could be your faith in our national currency, it could be anything. It could be like faith in your car. Like, the truth is you haven't changed the oil in like 10 years. You don't even know how much oil's in it. You forgot to use oil. And now you don't even want to think about it. You just, every time you turn the key, it's like, oh. Now, some mechanically inclined folks might be like, well, shit, I'll just go check it real quick. But some lazy-ass mechanically inclined people are like, I'll wait till the check engine light comes on or some shit, right? So they have this illusion in their mind that they're sort of, a lot of people have these things. Like, the Tao says that hope and fear are illusions, right? I think if we really, really are introspective and really reflective about a lot of things in our lives, I bet a lot of us are living illusions of happiness, illusions of success, like fog, like smoke and mirror shit, people in debt that are tricking themselves into saying that it's worth it, whatever the cost of whatever they're doing. You know, people in relationships that shouldn't be, people that should be in relationships that aren't, right? So there's definitely a lot of things that come into play. But anyway, what are your thoughts? Let's see, we got one person tuned in. I didn't do any kind of like promotion of the show, no nothing. So this is basic. This is all off of people who already know the show comes on right now, or I guess possibly hashtag folks, or the notifications of subscribers. So thank you for tuning in. Tell some folks to tune in. Let's talk about the truth. In the description, I ask you who's most likely to tell you the truth. And I think that at first, that sounds like an easy question to answer. But if you really dig at the core of it, not at the core, but if you really think about the reality of it, like you might say, oh, my family will tell me the truth. But do you honestly feel, are you telling yourself the truth? Or would your family protect your feelings, right? Or would they purposely hurt your feelings, thereby not telling you the truth, possibly, you know, maybe exacerbating a problem one way or another. So telling you the truth, or withholding the truth to stop you from feeling bad, or you know, maybe exaggerating a truth or withholding a truth to make you feel bad. Like either way, that's not telling you the truth, right? So is it your friends? Are your friends, can you trust them to tell you the truth? Or are they possibly people that could have a reason not to tell you the truth? And who would, you know, out of your friends, who would be most likely to tell you the truth? You know what I mean? These are weird questions, because you have to now think about, are you 100% truthful in your everyday dealings with people? And who are you 100% truthful with? I'm talking about 100% truthful of all that shit, and like whatever shit you can talk to about whatever. I don't think many of us have people that you could just simply talk about whatever you want. I just don't think so. I think there's rules, boundaries, limitations, to steal a phrase from the dog whisperer. Rules, boundaries, limitations in what kind of conversations you can have with certain people within your sphere, right? And you tell me, look, we got one person live, and I'm talking to the future people clicking in the archives. Hopefully I do some kind of crazy stunt in the future that brings a big rush of people that are jumping into the archives to check this out and see what the hell's been going on for all these years on the Boyd and what's been going on. We're talking about some deep ass shit about who's gonna tell your ass the truth. Now, of course, we're here sitting here talking about all these intimately close people, your friends, your family, these kind of people. Now, how about stuff like media? How about the newspaper? How about Fox News? How about CNN, MSNBC? How about your local news? How about your teachers? How about your clergy or your church people leaders or your whoever, and even within those right, and in those people within your influence, right, you still have rules, boundaries, limitations about what you can discuss and the amount of truth that you can openly divulge. I believe. Now you tell me otherwise. I don't know, right? Of course, certain things would be, obviously, some things are professional or different settings. Just, you know, we have these sort of social norms, right? That make these rules, boundaries, and limitations a little bit more defined. But what I'm talking about is, do you feel, or do you have, or do you know, and maybe it is some family, probably siblings, but some people maybe have parents, maybe some people have friends that they can be 100% on the level with about whatever, right? If you do, I feel like you need to be very grateful for that, right? I think so, because the truth is a tricky commodity. It is a rare commodity. So let's discuss. If you're tuning in the future, please put a comment and weigh in, and I will bring this up in your future. And look at that, we're talking to each other through space and time. How cool. So, and plus, anybody that is, it looks like we have still one person on, jump on the live chat. Let's talk. So, another thing that I've mentioned on the show before is if you are the only person that knows the truth, if you are, who are you? Or what are you? I would say you would be crazy. You would be crazy. Or defined by society, I guess, as crazy. Oh, man. Stuff got on the record. All right, let's see. This is Seprock. Seprock Beats. Sinking City Records. Let me see what side. Side B. This is side A, B. Tracks 13 through 18. I mean, it's sort of, I don't know. If he was labeling them instead of this sort of track number type thing and made them all names, I think that would be a little bit trickier to discuss. But anyway, yeah, these tracks, I'm gonna go ahead and hit play and see if we can get a little bit more Seprock beats going. But the truth, again, truth be told, we don't like to hear that. We don't like to hear the truth. A lot of people, I don't think, like to hear the reality of, again, the truth is a rare commodity that sometimes people don't even want to have. So sometimes something being rare doesn't mean it's desirable, I guess. In a weird way, right? Didn't work. I hope my record player's not broken. Come on. So I have a car here in the shop studio. Record player sitting on the trunk of the car. Here we go. Seprock Beats, Sinking City Records, what's up? But again, truth, rare commodity, people don't want it. When you seek it, people withhold it. When you don't want it, I guess. Well, who does? I mean, people don't want it because they don't want to face the truth. Even though it's better to face it immediately. I think most people know that. But maybe some people don't. You should definitely face things early on, especially issues while they're new and small. Definitely. And that happens to be in line with the Tao. So if you haven't read the Tao Te Ching or whatever, I don't know, it's Chinese. I don't speak Chinese even though I'm half. I didn't get that gene. Yeah, the Tao, should read it. It's a transformative text. It depends, it's sort of weird. Halfway through it gives you sort of an assessment of who you are. So maybe I shouldn't give you the spoiler, but it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's not all the way at the end either, so it's sort of halfway through, so you can check yourself. Maybe if you're a fool, you'll never catch it. If you're a moderate man or some woman or something, you'll probably be like, I think I know what he's talking about. And then if you're in line with the Tao, you'll be like, oh yeah, I totally get where you're coming from. It's basically an assessment on how you accept the Tao. What's your reaction to reading the Tao? It sort of predicts how you're, once you read it, who you are. When you read the Tao, how do you react? And it sort of lays it out. And so if you're really introspective, you can see, am I in tune with the Tao? Am I moderate or am I a fool? Right? Or not really a moderate. It's more like a skeptical person or something like that. Yeah, but it's very vague. It's sort of open to some interpretations, and I think a lot of people have a hard time reconciling the Tao with the modern world, because the modern world is so incongruous with it's not compatible with the Tao. By definition, made in the Tao, or I don't know if this was going on 5,000 years ago or what, but they're talking about a lot of the stuff that is happening now when the rich become irresponsible and the poor have nowhere else to turn. That this is theft and it will sow chaos. That we have a situation like that happening. It's just saying things like, if your nation is in tune with the Tao, which is the natural way of basically the universe, of the world, of whatever the fuck, why does a cardinal eat what cardinals eat? Why does it want to do what cardinals do? It just does. Why does a blue jay do that thing that it does? Or why does a great white shark do blah, blah, whatever? Why does moss grow where it grows? Why does anything happen? Why does all that crap, right? There are natural processes, and then there are bastardizations and adulterations of those processes. And modern society is a massive deviation from the natural process. And it's not just because we have like AC and iPhones and shit like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fundamental core of human nature. The overall capitalist system that we're living in right now, not the market system, not even profit, not even making profit. That's not even the big deal. I mean, sure, there are some issues with profit and consumption and those things, and infinite consumption, infinite profit expectations on a finite planet. Of course, those are contradictions. Those need to be reconciled. However, before you even reconcile that kind of thing, I think we need to reconcile the sort of this relationship between people that do the work versus people that set up the process by which the framework for people to do the work. It's like, I don't know. It's tough to come up with a good metaphor without getting too hyperbolic or getting too extreme. It's almost like, okay, if you wanted to get an absurdum, a reality. This is where it gets so, there's people that would get triggered at this example, and there are people that would be like, oh, I get it, And so, let me give you an example. So, who really built the plantation? The slaves or the person who purchased the slaves? You see what I mean? That becomes a fundamental question. So, there is a group of people in our society that would say, well, the other people, it was their choice to be enslaved, or their people's choice, or something, or it was the natural order, so that justifies the enslavement, and so therefore, who really built it? Well, the person who owned the slaves. There is a group of people in our country, a big group of people, who do believe that to the core. And they would say, okay, well, you can't liken not American, but today's people to slaves, because people are free and they can do whatever they want. So that's too hyperbolic, right? But at the same time, what alternative do you have but to enter into an exploitative arrangement with somebody, right? If you don't already have some money or resources or special skills, like you pop out of the womb singing, or you're like Michael Jackson or something like that, or you inherit it or whatever, stuff like that. Or maybe you enter into exploitation and you happen to save up enough through your exploitation that you actually have a little bit more than you need to survive, or you sacrifice something, right? Some survival to then come up with an entrepreneurial venture that hopefully you're clever enough to utilize and build into a business and escape exploitation. And in fact, furthermore, the American dream really is to find others to exploit and become the exploiter, so that you can be at your beach house in Monaco, after all, while your employees are running the station. I pay my manager $35,000 a year, and that's plenty for what they do. Right, and of course it's 35,000 or whatever number. Let's pull it out of our butt. Whatever number doesn't matter, because it's relative to a bunch of people who are captive. Right? They can't say fuck this shit. I'm gonna go eat rabbits and kill fish and shit from the pond, and I'll eat turtle soup. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't want to work at Walmart. I don't want to work at a gas station. I don't want to work at these places. I'll go and eat pine cones. I don't give a shit. I would rather live outside and freeze. I'll build a fire. I don't care. I'll huddle up. I don't care. I live in Florida. I'm not even cold. Right? So there are people, and right, there's a whole movement of people, off-grid people, people homesteading, people trying to escape the rat race of capitalism, of the system, of all this shit, right? And it's not crazy. People have it. Okay, put it this way: there was a time when I would talk about sort of like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we could just like go live out in the forest and whatever, and there's just like patch of forest you could go live in. And like people are like, oh hell no, there's no AC, there's no this and that. Now, granted, that would suck, but why couldn't we have a paradigm where we do have sort of a common or grant type situation where you could have a plot of land, raise your hand, you get a federal granted chunk of land that you can put a hydroponic array on, and why hydroponic? Well, because you can have massive density of production with very little water loss and very little water use, because you get to recycle the water. It doesn't get to evaporate nearly as much as just spraying water. That's so silly, just spray water on the ground. Most of it evaporates anyway. When you're hydroponic, it's a sealed system, and you get to input you have very strict controls over the fertilizer, etc., and the inputs. Anyway, I'm saying though, like if you had an acre of land, you could dedicate a quarter of that to a hydroponic farm and have enough probably for your whole family and some, right, to do whatever you wanted to. People could sell it. People could sell their labor to work each other's farms or plots or hydroponic plots. They could be solar powered. These could be paid for by grants. What would pay for the grants? Probably high taxes on property, real estate, investment. Why? Why that? Because how did you get the right to buy that? Right? Oh, I bought it from someone else, or they bought it from someone else. Okay, let's keep going back. Who bought it from 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 who shot it? Right? They didn't bought it, they shot it. Right? They got it from somebody getting the land stolen. In other words, right? It's like, right, you say, well, they got conquered. Oh, what does that mean? If I see an old lady lives in a fucking house that I like shit, that's a expensive historic house in an up and coming side of town. I watched HGTV. Fuck that old lady. I can beat her up. I'm gonna conquer that bitch, and I'm gonna conquer that historic home. And I'm going to be on HGTV. Why not? right? Oh, we just don't do that anymore. Oh, we just don't do that anymore. Well, what if I'm good at that? What if I'm not good at working at Walmart? Or not good at working at a corporate office? Or I'm not good at being an engineer or mechanic or anything else. You know what I'm good at? I'm good at conquering shit. Can I go conquer your shit? No, we don't get to do that anymore. Oh, we don't get to do that anymore. Okay. Now we have to play by these other rules. And if I'm not good at those rules, then fuck me, I can go die in the streets. Right? That's sort of it sounds hyperbolic. Sounds like I'm exaggerating. It sounds like I'm being silly. But at the same time, there is sort of a reality to this. Because in essence, we honor certain capacities and don't honor other capacities, and we justify it by the quote-unquote market, as if that is okay, right? Of course, the market has no ethics. That's why Epstein made so much. Was able to have a private island and influence, and teachers are starving and living in their cars. Maybe not all places. They don't. If they're even full-time teachers anymore, half the time they're getting squeezed to not get benefits and stuff like that. Because of budget cuts, because tax cuts, because more people are trying to squeeze the system because they're paying off politicians and blah, blah, blah. And things have been hijacked. Capital has hijacked basically the controls for our society. And now we're sort of dealing with the ramifications therein. So, I don't know. I've been blabbing. You guys put some comments down. Tell me what's up. Looks like we got another person. Superfan Chris is now on the show. What is up, Superfan Chris? And we have somebody else on. I don't know who, but they're hanging out. And so, but Superfan Chris is known, so which is pretty cool. I thought we actually Superfan Chris met someone met Superfan Chris, and they were like, wow, he was like a superstar. They knew him from the show. But anyway, be like Superfan Chris. Tune in to the show and drop your opinions into the live chat. You can Skype. I do have my Skype account up, and I keep it active because someone might Skype it. Someone actually did take us up on the Skype offer. It was a really cool conversation. However, it was a long time ago. It was probably like 10 episodes ago. I don't freaking know anymore. Dang, that would be like 10 weeks ago. Yeah, Superfan Chris was in the flesh, IRL, in fact, in real life. What were we saying? But yes, I don't know. I forgot what I was saying. That happens a lot. Lost the train of thought. But yes, so Superfan Chris, we've been talking about the truth. People, by the way, tell your friends. And we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. So put it, even future people, to put it in the comments. What do you want to talk about? What's on your mind? What is a topic that you're like, you know what? I bet James won't touch this topic, or I bet James has no opinion on this topic, or I don't even care. Why do I have? It's not even about my opinion. It's just about, like, let's talk about it. Maybe they have an opinion, or what do you think about this? Or I don't know. Maybe they want to just make a declaration, and let's talk about that declaration. Whatever you want. I don't care. Let's just talk about some things. You know, I guess in a way I want to talk about the things that we're not supposed to talk about as a society, or these, people say, oh, don't talk about religion or politics or whatever. Let's talk about it. People are going to get upset. It's okay. It's part of growth. I mean, it's weakness leaving your mind. I mean, we all get upset about some things. And I think we all need to learn how to deal with it and not get upset, possibly. Sometimes it's okay to be upset, but sometimes it's like, why would you get upset when you don't have to be upset? Going back to fear and hope, both being illusions, right? According to the Tao, and in real life, think about that. And in fact, the Tao goes further to say hope and fear are illusions centered around the self. right? So your the hopes are that a reward or something good will come to yourself. Or if you're saying I hope for someone else, it's still an illusion, right? The hope's still an illusion. It's like, oh, I hope for the best, but I mean, right? Prepare for the worst, because you don't fucking know. So hope is like an illusion, and fear is also an illusion, right? That's another. I'm afraid for the self. And I keep looking over here because my mixer is over here. I'm adjusting the volume and such, trying to sort of work things out with the record player here. All right, so it looks like we got some folks on tuned into the show. What is up? Get on to the live chat. Pardon me. Tell us who you are, and what do you think. In the description, there's a question that says, who's most likely to tell you the truth? Is it your friends, your family, who? People in your life? Does anybody? Do you think they would tell you the whole truth? Do you think they would actually possibly withhold some truth from you? That's something, that's really one of the core things. And then going further, this idea of, is there a person that you have in your life that you could tell the whole truth and be like okay telling the whole truth about practically anything? And I think that's a rare commodity. And how are you at accepting a truth, like all truths? And truths can be anything from, right, from do I trust that my car is going to stay in one piece from point A to point B, or it could be, do I believe my significant other's cheating on me or not, or I don't know, whatever. Do I think I'm really going to get this promotion? Or I don't know, or am I even in the right job? Or am I doing the right shit with my life? Or whatever. I think a lot of us are living illusions and sort of living in a fog of some sort. And it's really tough to strip away every single one of those and live to where you see nothing but reality. And like I said, I think I said earlier in the show, it could be even having a realistic and truthful view about, I don't know, I don't know, just like living in America. Today I had a pretty interesting conversation about the future of being in the United States. What's America going to be like in the future? Is it, I mean, people have been expatriating for a while, but then also people have been trying to emigrate into the United States. But that's the thing, is more and more affluent folks are trying to expatriate from, I think, from the United States, because they see some writing on the wall, especially people from Europe that have been through recent civil wars, have been through recent genocide, and been through recent things like that. And they are reflecting on rhetoric. They're reflecting on the way Americans are behaving. And they see echoes of what was happening in Europe prior to the bloodshed. And Americans, let's just face it, really, since the Depression, Americans just really haven't suffered. There are pockets of America that suffer, but Americans have become callous. Americans are individualistic. Americans like to be in their own little bubble. So really, if they're doing fine, then who cares if anyone else isn't? In fact, if everyone else died, it would actually be better for me. A lot of people in America think that way, because that's a very American way to think. You would think about America as we're really, we have some kind of brotherly or whatever, like fraternal type love for each other as, a nation. And no, that's all hogwash and poppycock talk. In America, people would just as soon watch you die than get inconvenienced. I mean, there's a majority of people now. There's a couple. There are shining lights, but they are like the stars in the night. How much of there are plenty of stars in the night, but how much of the sky is black? You know what I mean? Now, technically, because there's like infinite stars, and if you could see every single star, then yeah. Whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about with the human eye, motherfucker. With the human eye, that the damn sky at night looks pretty damn mostly not stars. You know what I'm saying? So when I do say it's like stars in the night, damn, there's a lot of stars. Yeah, there are. But there's a lot of not stars, too. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Because there's the rest of it. In between the stars is the rest of them. The rest of the motherfuckers that drove by the dying guy. The rest of the guys, the people that walked by the dying puppy or some shit. I don't fucking know, the homeless guy. Or whatever. I've been that person, I'm sure. I've justified it in my mind, I'm sure. Mostly because I'm fucking been having financial damn struggles myself. Or I will pick up the damn stupid dying puppy and take care of the stupid fucking puppy. And curse its name and everything while I'm nurturing it until it's right, until it's better. And then I'll let it go or whatever. Don't let it go, but give it to somebody or whatever, right? Or keep it. I don't know. I hope I didn't just knock on wood that doesn't happen. No fucking puppies, come on. I ain't got time for that shit. That's the thing. Living so here's trigger warning. Living in capitalist reality, I have to look at my time as every moment of time has a value unit. And I have certain obligations that must be maintained, etc. Right? Even if I didn't, I would still have to live somewhere. I'd still have to eat something. So granted, maybe I could be not living in this actual house, but I'd still have to pay for something. So yeah, it's maybe a few hundred, let's even say $1,000, no, not even $1,000, no, a few $100s, really. A few $100 different between this and some other, because I got a pretty decent deal. You know, I got all sorts of stuff going on with my mortgage or whatever. But besides that, really, rent is so much that my mortgage, which started back in like 2007, a different time, very different time. It started back then, and then it went through all these modifications, etc., through the recession, and that sort of stuck around, and then it had some other shit just recently. So it has some special stuff going on to it. So that's what I'm saying is, regardless, you could say, well, James, you made choices. It's too expensive. No. I would still have to find a fucking place. I'd still have to find a place to live that's safe, that actually is a roof, all that stuff. And it's expensive. So it's really not a huge difference in that space. Plus, I needed this because I have a lot of tools, which is an investment for its assets, for trying to fucking escape at what? Exploitation. So yeah, I had to keep this type of living arrangement in order, this house, right, in order to house those assets to one day, hopefully, like now, escape exploitation by becoming an entrepreneur. But like, I'm an old ass man. It's taken me a long ass time to amass that shit, right? And as John Maynard Keynes, what's it called? John Maynard Keynes told us, or coined the phrase, in the long run, we're all dead, right? I just happen to be able, there's so much serendipity and good luck and all sorts of universe shit that went my way that I was able to take advantage of, that maybe some people can or can't, maybe they don't recognize, I don't know. But to have to say that everyone's going to have to figure out their serendipity, super duper universe shit, like James did, in order to be successful and live, would be a pretty dumb thing to say. Like, I would never expect that. of other people. There's been some lucky strokes, right? And sure, yes, I've been prepared to a large degree because of life, not because of I knew this was coming or had this as a goal in mind, but it was just, you know what? Learn as much as you fucking can and do the best you can, right? That's what I mean. Why not? Why not test the capacity of the human mind to fucking learn shit? You know what I mean? You'll hit the walls, bump your brain against some walls. Why not? Just try to understand as much as you can, right? And by doing that, sometimes opportunities are all over the place. It's just that you got to know some shit and be curious and actually pursue that and work towards it. And sometimes it's not even about 100% about focusing on stuff. It's about focusing. And if you are going to focus on something, focus on things that are that you intrinsically are capable of doing. Things that are like just you get it, but other people are like they don't understand. You don't understand how can you mess this up, right? When you're at that point where you're like, damn, this should be easy. Why someone messing this up? That might be what you should be doing, possibly. If you like that thing, don't talk about like, oh yeah, I hate doing XYZ, but I'm like really good at XYZ and I can't understand why other people aren't good at XYZ. Yeah, but if you hate it, then that's different. That just means rote memory or you just are trainable. Ugh. That's neat. You can, roll over. Oh, you're good at rolling over. Okay, great. All right, Superfan Chris says, I think your true friends will tell you the truth. But how do you really know when they are even telling you the truth? Probably when it hurts to hear. Yeah. Probably when it hurts to hear. Yeah, no doubt. And that's the tricky thing. How many, even good friends, how many good friends are willing to tell you something that you're like, man, really? That's, damn. Really, I don't know. Maybe, oh shit. Maybe you should never ever have that reaction. No matter what. Think about this. Let's think about this. Because it would be feedback. If someone gave you remember, it's a rare commodity. That's like running away from gold or something. Let's think about this. That's like running away from gold because it's too heavy. Think about that. Right? I don't want that big old gold ingot. That's like 40 pounds. Screw that. It's too heavy. Yeah, that would be dumb, right? So why wouldn't you want to know the truth? The truth already exists anyway. It's like if you didn't want to know a booger was on your nose. Like, it's there. Like, dude, of course you'd want your friend or anybody to tell you got a booger on your nose, right? So why anything else? Why not anything else? Right? So I think, too, it has to do with you. You have to be willing to accept the truth. And maybe people will tell you the truth more if you're known for accepting the truth. And maybe people won't tell you the truth and aren't telling you the truth because you're known for not accepting the truth or known for overreacting to things or something like that, I guess. That could be something. I don't know. In my lifetime, which, feel like it's getting long in the tooth, and even, more specifically recently, I feel like I don't know. I feel like, man, I just had that the thought just escaped. What was it? Over the years, I feel like, recently I've been, that's what it was. I've been surprised. I've been surprised at how some folks have reacted to the truth. being able to, sit down and say, look, because I don't like, I believe that if you just come out and talk about it, it will be a lot easier to solve the problem, especially we're talking about business, right? We got to be like, look, we got to work this out, or otherwise we're going to be broke, or we're not going to make rent, or whatever. So, like, let's figure this shit out. And, sometimes people will be more reflective, especially if it's a hurtful truth to it, because they have to say, wait a minute, wow, this has to be something pretty intense, because they wouldn't, who would talk about this or in that way or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it could be, you possibly, I guess that's when it's the truth is when it hurts, right? Sometimes I don't know. But then it's like, well, what if it doesn't hurt? Does that mean it's not the truth? Like, what if your friend was like, yeah, you're really awesome at something? Like, is that because, like, I don't know. Of course, it depends on who they are and whatever. But sometimes I don't know. That's the tricky part is knowing, if you can set up that kind of relationship, if you have that relationship, if it's a friend, a family, or something, and maybe it's a group of people, maybe you have someone who you can speak about this thing, but I wouldn't talk to them about this, and you have this person to talk about this. I'm starting to think that, that's, I don't know, maybe that's just normal. And I just don't know all that many people or something like that. And I don't know. You tell me, what's your paradigm like with your friends? Do you have, and maybe because I've never had like a ton of friends, so I don't know how to sort of delegate or divvy out sort of like these specific things. I don't know. I never really, I don't know. You guys talk to me about it. How does, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I guess I have, from some friends that were centered in music that weren't like necessarily mechanically inclined, or people who were mechanically inclined that knew nothing about music, or those kinds of things. But yeah, I don't know. It's part of what is causing us to have issues in our society. I think we aren't being honest with each other, and we're not being forthright. We're not getting to the truth. We're not cutting to the chase. All of these things, and it could be because we're trying to save each other's feelings. Could be, I don't know, whatever. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What could it be? And do you think it's going to get any better? What do you blame for it? Is there anything to blame for it? Or do you think the truth is not as rare as I'm saying? Do you think people are more inclined to tell you the truth than I'm leading on? That could be too. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of stuff gets sugar-coated and double-spoken. Like working in the corporate world, like there's always a way to say something to where it doesn't sound like you're saying something. Like, I don't know. Like, you're giving someone some feedback about something, and I'm like, oh, I have a formative feedback, or like, I have a change right now, like a couple deltas. Why don't you just say change, or a couple tweaks, or a couple things I think would improve this, or whatever it is, but a few deltas, right? We're just going to call them deltas, because that's how we're going to talk about it. I mean, I know what they're talking about as far as the Greek letters and all that stuff. But regardless, it's like, oh, but why? It's like going to the restaurant, and instead of saying that they are currently full or they are at capacity, and that, please, we would be happy to seat you as soon as a seat is available. Please sign up on the list or some shit like that. But no, they have to twist it around and they call it, what do they call it now? They are fully committed. The restaurant is fully committed. Like, just tell me it's full. The seats are taken. I can see. Like, you don't have to use special, like, fully committed. Okay. Yes. Okay. I know what it means. It's the same thing. But does it sound better? Does it sound more professional? I don't fucking know. I don't know. You tell me. What do you guys think? Superfan Chris says. He says, is the grass greener on the other side of the world? America seems to have gone down the drain. At least that is what the media is portraying. I don't think that is really a reality by any means. Yeah, I wonder about that. And I wonder about the reality of this country. Now, not to say that there isn't a reality for some people. It's a big country, a lot of different states, a lot of different people. So there are people hurting in different pockets within society, and there's probably people hurting all around us, but we're so alienated. How would you even know? How about that? How would you really even know if your neighbor was hurting? How do you know if they were laid off and all that stuff? They would probably be still living in the same house, all that stuff, moratorium on mortgage foreclosures and evictions. I don't know. I saw a food line longer than I've ever seen at the food bank near my house yesterday. I don't know. It's Thanksgiving. I know. Maybe that's what it is, I guess. But the food bank always has a line. I don't know. It probably always did. I don't know. I never really noticed it. But they had a line that went through like a big field and went back and forth, back and forth. I don't know. Superfan Chris goes on to say, seems like every day I meet people who are in good spirits, and mostly folks who aren't even well off financially. Some, of course, put a happy face on. It's hard to tell. Right. And you don't have to, I mean, you see good spirits happy. Like that's one of the notable things about, you go to some shanty town in Africa or some floating town in Thailand or something. It's all these people that don't make very much money and they're of very little means, and they have, they're pretty happy. They seem pretty jovial. They seem like, whatever. And then you have these people that are living in like Manhattan, and they have like all the luxuries and amenities of life, and they're bitter and they're shitty and they're like, ugh. I don't know. And there's poor people there's people like, look, I've been in some financial straits for sure. There's people that are quote unquote poor who have more money than I probably do. And yeah, I'm in good spirits. They're in good spirits. I think people naturally try to be in good spirits. Now but there's some people that are just always have a bad spirit. They're out there. I think overall, the human spirit is a positive, nurturing spirit and a cooperative spirit. We're cooperative beings. We're pack animals, whatever you want to call it. So I think there's naturally faith, but not faith, not there's hope, not hope. There's a natural chance. How about that? I'll put it this way. There's a natural chance, probability, that through natural forces within the overall society at a macro level, that our tendencies towards some level, some semblance of cooperation as a unifying aspect against some kind of known threat, be it mass starvation, be it whatever it is that comes along. I don't know. I think there is a chance of that. And there's also a chance. I think the main hindrance to all of that is the societal norm or the culture. It's really a culture, and I think if there was to be a cultural shift, then there's more hope. But what's going to motivate this cultural shift? Is it going to be a person? Is it going to be a movement? Is it going to be a media campaign? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know anymore. It could be anything. I mean, there's too many variables to predict. Now, someone out there might predict it, but again, even if they predict it, it's amongst all the other predictions and all the. I mean, yeah. So even if they were right, and they're gonna be. I don't know. I mean, even if they're right, it doesn't matter. That's because you wouldn't know that they were the right one out of all. Anyway. Superfan Chris says, I heard on the radio that there are. Wait, what? I heard on the radio that there is over 350,000 people in Duval County in need of food. Damn. There's only like a million. A little over a million in Duval County. How the. Bruh. That's like 35% of the county is in need of food. Highest numbers they've ever had in the county. We have around 850. Sorry, yeah, 850. I thought that's what I thought there was more than that. I thought it was like 1.1 million. No way, 850. Damn. Wow. Well, so then now, Superfan Chris, let me sort of press you on something, because you say that you don't think that what the media is portraying is reality, but then you go on to say that we have the highest number of people that need food in Duval County. Now, I don't know. That sounds like canary in the coal mine. I mean, a lot of people needing food. That's a sign, man. That's a canary in the coal mine right there. Superfan Chris goes on to say, there's 1 million if you count. Oh, outskirts. Okay, I figured that. St. John. Oh, St. John's too. Okay, yes. Okay, I didn't know it included St. John's. And okay. Either way, I mean, look, 850, 1.1. Still, it's a large number of people. And hey, how about this for the capitalist supporters out there of the now and the future? Here's the bonus round question. What are the capitalists doing to alleviate suffering? Bonus round. So, let's see. Let's see what people answer in the bonus round. I think we're in for a big surprise. Big surprise. Prices are up for a lot of stuff. Inflation still up. And people need food. It means they don't have jobs. That means they don't have money. Paradox of thrift is going to set in. What is that? That means people start saving. They get uncertain. They're afraid. They don't. When they have money, they save money. They don't spend the money. If you don't spend the money, what do you think's happening in the economy? So the paradox of thrift is that in the moment that you need the spending to happen, the spending stops. Right? What will stop the economy from screeching to a devastating halt? It would be spending. For consumers to spend, not producers, consumers to spend money. Did the consumers get any stimulus? Did the consumers get the means to spend money? They didn't, did they? So what's going to happen? Prices are up, but who's gonna buy your shit? Nobody. They 35% or half the freaking county needs assistance for food. So they're not buying your trinkets and technology and whatever shit. So if they're not buying that shit, what's going to happen to the economy? Right? Same with houses, same with any of the fucking shit. Right? We have to start thinking about the big picture and of each other, not just look, I plan on making money. I plan on making a lot of money right now, even in the midst of a potential depression coming up. I don't give a fuck. I'm making money. However, I do care about my fellow man and woman, right? American. I care about Americans. I mean, I care about the global citizen, whatever the fuck. The world, sure. I mean, but I live in this country. I'm an American. Right? I was born in Chicago. I got a birth certificate, born in the United States, American citizen. I believe in American dream, this idea of the notion of sort of what the American dream has become or whatever, or is. I guess this idea that you can live a life with freedom, that to pursue happiness and do what you want to do, which I think is an ever more and more elusive dream. And I believe that it could be attained, and I believe that it could be made accessible to more people. And it isn't right now. And the contradictions of capitalism and various factors are causing are taking its toll, put it that way. They're taking their toll on society and on people. You're seeing I guarantee, and if maybe I'm wrong. Tell me, prove me I'm wrong. I could guess right now. I haven't looked up any statistics. I bet divorce rates are up. I bet breakup rates are up. All of this stuff is going on, along with suicide rates going up. I think counseling, probably need for counseling, therapists, all of that kind of stuff, probably going up for the people that can afford it. Why? Because people are under more and more pressure. The contradictions of the system, contradictions of capitalism, all are coming to a head again. They've done it before. People were selling their children, don't forget. People sold their children into the Depression. Child for sale signs. In the United States, under capitalism, during the Depression. That wasn't socialist. That wasn't like, well, we tried communism for a day. No. That was capitalism. That was Great Depression. That was when people were starving. They had too many kids to feed, and they were selling them off. To who? I don't fucking know. Neither do you. I don't know. It's lost to time. But some children got sold off. So, yay, right? That's the American dream for you? I don't know. Superfan Chris says, it's supposed to be, actually, hold on. I'm going to get to Superfan Chris. This depression is probably coming could be worse. Maybe not, but I don't know. What's your opinion on the ability of the American people, especially young Americans, to figure shit out? I don't know. Look, I don't know. I didn't raise these kids, but then again, I don't know. I also didn't raise these kids. Maybe I should have raised some kids. I don't know. I doubt any kid I would have raised would make any difference. Not any good difference. Superman Chris says, so when I say the media portrays like the fighting and the hating types, hiding and hating, yes. I think, yes, I think there is some fighting and hating. I think you do have some militant factions that are like really getting sort of out there with some of the stuff. But I get where you're going with it because it also is being stoked by the media, I believe. Reality is, yes, folks are without food. Dang, yes, without food and work things. Uh, of Without food and work, things of that nature. But the fighting and all that other stuff. Yeah, I wonder. But then again, think about this. We were just talking today about, we were talking to a construction, uh, a guy that runs a construction company. And he was saying that, he basically has some pretty militant Trump fans in his midst. And they threaten that they are armed, that uh, they they believe there's a Democrat conspiracy, they believe there's a Jewish conspiracy with Soros, they believe there's a Black Lives Matter conspiracy, and that Biden and Kamala Harris are behind it. Kamala Harris specifically, that Kamala Harris is going to run the government, that specifically this black woman is going to run the government because of the sock puppet Biden is going to be the president. So they said, I'll be damned if I'm going to have a Kamala Harris be the next Dick Cheney, right? That's their thing. An old white man is fine, but a relatively young black woman isn't. Okay, whatever. They're playing identity politics. I think it's sort of shitty that we have a sock puppet president and then we have a corporatist and also a hostile former attorney general that is now possibly in charge of the country. So yeah, it's just basically Dick Cheney in a different flavor with a different, wrapping. It's just ugh. I can see where there's some issues, right? I sort of believe what they're saying. But at the same time, it's like, look, it might actually be true. But that's the thing is what specific policy is it? They think she's gonna take all the guns and this and that. Oh, she's gonna be a socialist. She's a corporatist. She's not going to be socialist at all. Like, I don't think she even supports Medicare for all. If she does, it's not along with Biden. Biden doesn't support Medicare for all. So, fuck, I don't know. I don't even know anymore. All right. So, and Superfan Chris says, "Oh yes, that's right. I forgot about those customers he told us about." Customers and the people he worked with. He's working with some folks that are militant. They assume anyone from New York must be a Democrat and that they're trying to overthrow whatever happened in Florida and voting Democrat or something. I don't know. Look, I'm not a Democrat. I don't care. I mean, I am technically because I wanted to vote for Bernie in the primaries. It's just the rules. It wasn't because I have no loyalty to the party. In fact, after what they did with Bernie, they can go fuck themselves. Yeah, basically. Not Republican either, because they're a bunch of sellouts too. Everyone's selling out the American people. So, look, I'm just sick of that shit. I think a lot of Americans are sick of that shit. I mean, a lot of people in general are just sick of that shit. But anyway, I don't know. Tell me what you think. What are your thoughts? Put them in the comments. Even future people that are listening to this on the archives, put in some comments. I do reference them in the future, your future. I will reference them. And for everybody, make sure to tell people about it and ask around. Like, hey, if we were going to talk about a big topic, if we were sitting around a campfire talking about a major topic, what topic would it be? Even if it triggered people, even if people would not want to talk about it because the truth would almost hurt too much. What? We couldn't handle the truth, right? Like that kind of thing. Then what? What the hell? Why is it? trying to get the record player to start and get some Seprock beats going again because. Oh, come on. Alright. I'm just gonna pick a track. Let's go. No, come on. No. Alright, that's just where it landed. The needle. Oh no! What is going on? What is happening to my. Something's happened. Malfunction. Oh my god, what is happening? It just landed. Needle just landed somewhere. And that's it. And that is it. Alright. Seprock Beats, Sync Considered Records. Don't forget, you can actually, you should be able to follow the link in the description. Bandcamp, you can order the double LP. It is dope as hell, especially if you like to freestyle. Even if you don't like to freestyle, it is still cool to listen to some Seprock Beats. So, been another episode of The Boyd. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Tell your friends. Ask them, what do you want to talk about? What's on your mind? What's something you think people can't talk about or you really want to answer to? What's something you want a perspective on? What's something you've been mulling around? If you want some help coming up with things as far as thinking about solutions or teaming up, like just getting some ideas, bring them to the show and let's talk about it. All right, so this is your host, James Boyd, the host of The Boyd, and I'm out. Peace out. Seprock Beats.
Hey, check out Special Needs Harry Potter.